700 years ago, a man in exile imagined hell, and an entire civilization believed his vision was real. This man was Dante Alighieri, and this is the story of his revenge. 1265, Florence. Dante is born into a minor noble family. The city is torn apart by power struggles. But it isn't politics that shapes Dante's life. At the age of 9, he encounters a girl. Her name is Beatrice. All he says about that moment is this: "She became the ruler of my life." He doesn't see her again. 9 years pass. 1283. Dante is 18. Beatrice appears before him once more. She greets him. Just that. And Dante places these two brief encounters at the center of his entire life. Think about this. 2 encounters in 9 years. No conversation, no relationship, no promise. Just a greeting. And Dante built his entire life's work around her. Beatrice dies in 1290. She is 24 years old. Dante is devastated. But from that devastation, something is born. The poems he wrote for her, then La Vita Nuova, and finally, the Divine Comedy. In the Divine Comedy, Beatrice becomes Dante's guide through heaven. She is the one who leads him to God, the woman he never reached in life. He kept her beside him forever. But life had other things in store for him. In 1301, the Black Guelphs seize power in Florence with the Pope's support. Dante's faction, the White Guelphs, is expelled from the city. In 1302, Dante is sentenced to exile. If he returns to Florence, he faces execution. He never returns. No home, no city, no political power. All he has is a pen. Dante writes the Divine Comedy in exile, fiction, but the names inside are real. Pope Boniface VIII, the man directly responsible for Dante's exile, is placed in the 8th circle of hell, buried upside down in a stone tube, flames rising from his feet. But Dante goes even further. At the fictional time of the poem, Boniface is still alive, and Dante puts him in hell anyway. He is essentially saying, "You will end up there." His political rival Filippo Argenti is placed in the 5th circle, the circle of the wrathful. There, he bites chunks out of himself for eternity. Dante took his revenge through poetry. He used his masterpiece as a weapon against his enemies, and no one could touch him, because he was writing fiction. But the Divine Comedy isn't just a book of revenge. Dante builds the architecture of hell on a philosophy. It's called Contrapasso, reciprocal punishment. The way you sinned is the way you suffer. Soothsayers and fortune tellers walk with their heads twisted backwards, able to see only where they've been, because in life, they tried to see the future. Corrupt politicians are submerged in boiling pitch because of their sticky dealings and dark alliances. The lustful are swept forever in a violent storm, because in life, they were swept away by their passions. The gluttons lie face down in filth, pelted by endless rain and hail, because they cared only for what went into their mouths. Clergymen who sold church offices for money are buried upside down in holes, flames burning their feet, because in life, they turned everything upside down, placing material gain above spiritual values. This isn't just punishment, it's a philosophy of morality. The sinners chose their own fates. Hell isn't a place of arbitrary torture. It's the natural consequence of each sin playing out forever. The Divine Comedy was completed in 1320, and from that day forward, the image that comes to mind when people think of hell has largely been Dante's image. 9 circles, punishment matching the sin, Satan frozen in ice. Painters illustrated Dante's hell. Botticelli illustrated the entire book. William Blake interpreted the scenes. Michelangelo read Dante. Leonardo da Vinci annotated his works. Chaucer, Milton, T.S. Eliot, all of them walked through Dante's hell first. And Rodin spent 37 years on the gates of hell. 37 years. For one door. That is what Dante's vision does to an artist. And Rodin's The Thinker, one of the most recognized sculptures in the world, was originally designed for the gates of hell, a monumental work based on Dante's Inferno. That figure sitting in thought is Dante himself. One exile's imagination shaped the minds of billions over 700 years. Dante never returned to Florence, he never defeated his enemies, but he buried them in hell forever. and that hell still lives in our minds. Perhaps this is the greatest revenge of all, not to be forgotten, but to be impossible to forget.